Welcome to Information Technology 5 for the accounting, auditing, and taxation students. Today is a bright sunny day. There's not a breeze in sight, and it must be about 25, 26 degrees in Durban. And unfortunately, I heard that some of us are experiencing load shedding. So Eskom is back with their load shedding schedule. And let's see how far we can get without being hit down by load shedding. So for today, the agenda is the Audit Command Language. On Thursday, Mr. Mandla introduced you to the Audit Command Language. And by Thursday afternoon, I had sent him an email requesting him to register all of you with the Audit Command Language program. And I believe he has sent you guys an email. So you should have, in effect, received the following in your email. It says, click on the link in the account activation email and a new page in your default browser will be opened. Show of hands. I know some of you are unable to send me a voice, unmute your mic. By show of hands, have you all received it? Just give me a thumbs up. Or if you like, unmute your mic. Oh, great. TJ, that's T Jagannath, said she received it. S. Duma. Yes, hands up. Go ahead, S. Duma. S. Mbele, great. So you would have received the email and you would have said accept invitation. And the next screen would be you need to enter in your details. So I'm assuming that you have done this. Anybody would like to post in the chat that you've completed the installation of the Auditing Command Language program on your laptop? Anybody? Somebody? Mr. Naya? Oh yes, you did mention you're having issues with your network. Ms. Jagannath? Mr. Kumalo? Ms. Mbele?
Hi, sir. No, I didn't go any further. Firstly, I was a bit scared when I got that email because I didn't register for anything. But then when I read it, it became more clear what it was about. But I actually waited for you to go further because I wasn't too sure.
Great. Thank you for your honesty and I appreciate that. Great, Ms. Jagannath. Anybody else? Okay, so believe it or not, Ms. Jagannath, I also saw that email and I sent an immediate response to the ITSS department and I asked them, is this spam? Is this phishing software? So it is legit. It's from High Bond and you would have received it. It said something to the effect of, welcome to High Bond Durban University of Technology, right? So go ahead, Ms. Jagannath, please accept it and install the software. So I'll just go through the next screen with you, fill in all your details, surname, name, initials. I did that. Thereafter, Ms. Jagannath, you need to click on the downloads option. So there's the downloads option out here. It's somewhere there. And I generally save it to my downloads folder. The next step, locate the ACL for Windows installation file wherever you saved it, right? So I'm just going to go through the notes. I have emailed this to you in the last 10 minutes or so, and you should receive it. So no need to take down any notes. Not that you guys take down any notes. I wonder if you do, or you just watch my videos. By the way, if you are watching my videos on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. I only have 388 subscribers. And please like my videos. You know, there's not many people that like it. And give some positive comments in there, all right? Please, pretty please. All right, so the next one, it says, click on the file and select Run as Administrator. So you're the administrator on your laptop. I don't have to tell you what language you need to select. Select English. Thereafter, it says the self-extraction would occur. Set up for this extraction, just click on the default button that says extract and click on install. Once you've done that, you click on the next. It says welcome to the setup wizard for ACL for Windows. You click on the next button. Then please accept the license agreement. Guys, Mr. Naya, Mr. Kumalo, listen to this joke of mine, right? Accepting a software license is like arguing with a woman. At the end, you simply say, I accept the terms in the license agreement. How's that joke, Mr. Naya? Mr. Naya?
Hey, I hope your wife isn't listening to your recording, sir.
Oh, she's in the dining room. Shh, 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 shh. Don't tell her this, right? Okay, so that's it goes, right? So, but what's that classic joke, Mr. Naya, where I'm talking about license agreement, accepting the terms and conditions? Give me a thumbs up at least. I know you can't chat and you're scared to make it a recording just in case your future wife, whoever has to hear this. Mr. Kamalo, what do you think about that? Ms. Jagannath, I'm sure you'd agree with me. Okay, it doesn't matter. Let's go on. It says ACL for Windows setup. I want you to select Unicode, UNICODE. Doesn't matter if you don't know what that is right now, just believe me, I'm your lecturer. I'm telling you to select Unicode and you click on the next button. Let the installation begin. Select destination folder. You don't have to, it would automatically choose it. Select whatever folder it is and you click on the next button. Then you click on install. The setup wizard is complete and you will get a shortcut on your desktop. Use the high bond credentials you created when activating your account. So your username is your DOT, your email address, and whatever password that you create. And I've already done this, so I've already logged into ACL training, and you will have to do that as well. Select DUT as your organization and click on the Activate Analytics. So I've already done that and you are going to be doing that. Open any of the files. Now I'm going to do this today. I'm going to open up a test file or a sample file and congratulations, you've installed it. Voila, well done. Right? Now next week, Mr. Manla is going to go through this in depth as well, right? But I want to start you guys off because I feel this is a very important bit of software for you to learn. Right, so let me go and take you through to where the file exists. I just want to show you quickly. And right, so if I go to my downloads folder, here's my downloads folder. And I installed it on Friday. There we go. I downloaded it on Friday, AC Alpha Windows 15. And it's a hell of a large file. It's almost a gig, or not almost, over a gig. So make sure you're doing the download after 12 at night if you have DUT data. And yeah, so you'll also have ACL for Windows installation. I've emailed this to you. I'll put that in the chat as well. For those of you who don't check your email, let me go and post that in the chat. Oh, I've got a question here. Oh, no question. Oh, Mr. Naya, thank you, Mr. Naya. I'm glad you liked the joke. All right, so I'm going to put this, the Word document in the chat, and you can read it at your leisure. Now, it also mentioned in the Word document, it says that ACL for Windows, the icon would appear on my desktop. So if you look at my desktop, here's my desktop. It says ACL for Windows. I'm going to double click on ACL for Windows and let it open up. Is it opening up? Yep. It should open up on your side. ACL for Windows, open up. Okay. Ms. Jagannath, please tell me if you are able to view my screen. It should say ACL for Windows, 100 demo training, data ACL, IT5 ACL sample project. I sound like a robot.
Yeah, so it's showing on my slide.
Oh, great, great. Right, so let's do a brief overview as to why I'm teaching you ACL, the accounting students, taxation, auditing. Why do I need you guys to learn this bit of software? So if you look at our course curriculum, we talk about us being IT students. And my concept for IT is programming. And that's software engineering. Not only that, I feel that you need to come out with some software application, some software development, some coding, some programming thing out of this course. That's my personal view. I'm also confined by the module descriptor. Believe it or not, I'm going to try and change this module descriptor where I want to include a very generic term. So instead of saying SAP ERP systems, I wanted to state that we need to have some accounting, auditing, or taxation software for our students. And one of the software that I propose to recommend is the software called ACL. There's others as well, but I don't think for this semester we'd be able to complete that. So at the end of this semester, you should be able to create a website, which we did last week. You should be able to create a mini or a small teeny weeny app. You should have knowledge of SAP ERP, basics of getting into SAP, logging in, logging out, viewing a transaction. And you should have the certification for MATLAB, including the ethics training. And now I'm introducing you to this thing called ACL, Audit Command Language. Now, Audit Command Language is simply a tool that you as an auditor, that you as an accounting student or a taxation student would use to read and analyze data. Now, the taxation students sitting in here would say, but this is software for auditors. Why do I need to learn about it? Well, the short answer is because I say so. Ha ha ha, I'm the boss. No, that's not a good answer, not good enough answer. The reason is we can't clearly make a demarcation between auditing, tax, or accounting students. This is my opinion. An auditor would be doing somebody's tax. A tax consultant would be auditing someone's income and expenditure statements. So I feel this is a lovely bit of software for you to assist you in your role as an auditor or a tax consultant or even an accounting student. All right. So that's what ACL. ACL stands for Audit Command Language. It's software, it's a tool that allows you to read and analyze data. Now, what's data? If I can go back to my topic on IT, information technology, you would have done this in your MATLAB certification. Data, well, data is everywhere. We find data, we use data when we are making a credit card payment, when we're making a telephone call, we log in onto a website. Data would be your student number or just the digits. But when we take this data and we give it some meaning to it, then it becomes information. So if I had to say 21212234, you may consider that to be simple digits and data. But now if I tell you that 2121345 refers to your student number and 2123 means that you are registered in 2021. So that becomes information. So this software, Audit Command Language software, actually uses the concept of data, takes it, analyzes it using you as the person in charge of it all, and it comes up with some information, some analytical information that you can use. Right, when I get to the sample data, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, when you did the MATLAB certification, you would have learned about fields, records, files, and a database. Believe it or not, that comes into play in ACL. So let's do a quick recap. ACL, who uses it? Data analyst will use it. An auditor would use it. A business professional, a tax student like you, an IT professional. What can I do with ACL? Well, basically, it's left to your knowledge of programming, your knowledge of data, of working with data, of accounting packages. You can come through with, analyzing data. And the lovely thing about this is it automates your Excel spreadsheets in a way and filters out what you need. So all I'm going to do is point you in the direction of ACL, and it's left to you how and what you are going to do with it, right? Now, the other nice thing about ACL I noticed is that when I imported a spreadsheet, I wasn't able to edit the contents of the spreadsheet. So I couldn't go and change a mark that was allocated to you. And I'm going to show you out here, if I have the IT5 ACL project, I'm opening it up right now. When I open it up, I'm not able to interfere with data. So where it says, let's look for Hadebe got 100 for his Google test. I want to change that and I want to make it something else. I can't do that. So it's a read-only file. And that's pretty cool and pretty neat for an auditor. You don't want to be able to change your data. You don't want to be able to change that figure that says 100, make it 50 or 60 or whatever, right? So it retains the integrity of your data. The other thing about ATL is that it can analyze large sets of data. Now, I only have 15 rows out here. By the way, you know the concept of a field and a record and a file? Let's look at it. So student number 204-00686, Buthelezi TPI, ID number so-and-so, Google test and Moodle test. That you can consider as a record. So I basically have 15 records in here. But all 15 records put together would make up a file. So this table is considered to be a file. And within each record there's a field. So this is my student number field. That's my surname field. There's my ID field. There's my Google test field and my Moodle test. Within the field, I have data. So AT would be considered data. And this is numeric data type. When you did your MATLAB certification and you did it properly, you would have learned about variables and storing values in a variable. And one of the data type that you stored in a variable was referred to as an integer. So this mark that T. Buthelezi received, 80, is an integer value. All right. Now, the other thing about ACL is that we can automate procedures and we're able to create what is known as a script in order for you to improve the efficiency of your audit process or improve the efficiency of your data analysis. So let's go on to the screen. Let's start with the ACL, the screen. Let's start at the top over here. Let's go and open up a new project. Let's say a new project. And I'm going to give it a nice name. So there's a nice name for my project. And let me go and start out there, right? Now it says, specify whether the data source you want to define is accessed using analytics or through a server. These are important computer concepts. What's a server? We'll come to that, right? For now, let's just cancel and let's open up ACL. So here's my interface. This is my welcome screen. I have my status bar at the bottom, overview, log variables. There's the status bar showing me. Here's my navigation window. And out here is my, well, you can't see the welcome tab right now because we didn't do anything. But this gives me a history of what has happened. It creates a log of what I'm doing in my project. So right now I created it at 12:23. on the 17th of May, 2021. It also records a log of all the activities, the steps that I take within ACL. So the Welcome tab navigates between your projects. It allows you to open a project, create a project, which I just did, and I gave it a nice name, which is my name. And the project navigator has the overview tab and a log tab, and it allows you to see your records. It allows you to save it. And well, you saw the status bar at the bottom of the screen. So let's go to the first little bit out here where they talk about something called a table. Let's go to a new table. What's a table in ACL? A table, okay, let me show you my table, right? Let me look at my table. I'm going to come out of this. Yes, let me go to my previous project, which is IT5. So this is considered a table. You may think of it as a file of students. ACL will consider this as a table. ACL project will have tables, scripts, logs, workspaces, and folders. So a table is basically a combination of a table layout, the data source which the table layout is linked to, and it's presented in a particular view. In my case, I have student number, surname, ID, class test for Google, and the Moodle class test. There's another word that they use. Is it out here? Do I find it out here? I just want to show you something called a script. Where do I find script? Scripting. I want a script. That's another nice important word to think of, a script. Do they have it? Okay, but just keep this in mind. A script is a number of ACL commands that can be repeatedly executed in your project. So if we have something that we are doing continuously and we're doing it on a regular basis, maybe we would want to create that as a script. When I used to teach Excel, we call that a macro. So if I had a number of steps, I could create a little macro, and it saves me from doing it, doing 10 steps. Instead of doing 10 steps, I just simply create one step and as a script. I mentioned to you what a log is. A log at the bottom of the screen there, it tells me the log. Log simply is an audit trail. It records your commands, your results from your analysis. It allows you to retrace your steps and reproduce the results without having to save your work. It also enables you to generate a report. Now, you as a auditor, you as an accountant or a tax consultant or whatever, you need to generate reports, right? And, you know, when I take into consideration the report that you're generating, if you have a log in ACL, it makes your life so much easier, right? To be able to work with it. Right. Oh, I just checked the WhatsApp. Someone posted ACL for Windows installation. Excellent. Thank you. I need to record the student's name out there. Let's go on. What are the elements in ACL? ACL are meant for executing your standard analysis. You are able to generate statistics. Let's jump to that right away. Let's see if I can do that right now. I want to show you statistics in terms of our students that we have. Right, there we go. Statistics. Let's run the statistics on Google test that we had. And there's the statistics. Very quickly, it tells me that for the Google test, the average for the test was 84. There were 6 people that had zeros. And there we go. We can tell you who they were. Langa TS, Satoli XP, Mbambo K, Mashipa KMS, Mondi A, Sigedli PS. Right, so that's the statistics. And you'll notice my log out here tells me that I asked for the statistics for the Google test that y'all wrote. Well, actually not the Google test, the test that was written on the Google Classroom. Cool. I'll pause for a second here. Do I have a question coming out from anybody? Anyone with a question, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Speak now. I know it's a lot of work that we're covering, and I want to prepare you for the training that you're going to receive from Mr. Mandla. Next week, he will be doing the training, and I'd like it if some of you can actually go and register with, I'm not sure which institution it is, so that you get certified. And believe it or not, he told me that the exam costs $450. Now, if we're looking at a Rand dollar exchange of about 15 Rand, that's a good couple of thousands. I don't know whether DUT is going to sponsor us to cover that or not. Okay, so for homework for today, I'd like you to install ACL on your computer, your laptop, and try this out. Try it out. That's the only way you're going to learn. For now, let me just go through each aspect of the ACL workspace environment. Under File, you can open up a new project, which I showed you now. I opened up a new one. I can open up a new table. Think of your table as your file. I can open up recent projects that I had. Some of my recent projects was the demo project. Let's open up a demo project. Oh, look at this. There's the demo project. There's 24 records in this file. There's a sales rep number, first name, last name, sales address. I could have opened up another file. Let me open up another file that's pretty large. Let's see if that's a sample project. Yo, look at this sample project. There's about 50 records in here. Okay. So that's cool about it. You can save a project. You can change the name of the project, close the project, delete the project. Page setup, you'll need this when you are printing your reports. So if I want to set it up as A4 or letter, I like A4, let's do that. And that's how it's going to appear when I print it. I can print this to screen. Let's go to print preview. This is how it'll look. This is what it looks like. Or I can send it to the printer. I think this sounds like MS Word or Excel. Let's go to edit. Edit is the table layout. Oh, there's this word variables. I'm so glad and happy that I introduced you guys to MATLAB, and I hope you did it with the vigor and rigor that I expected of you. A variable is an important concept in programming, and it's a very, very important concept in information technology. I like to think of the word variable as vary. Vary simply means that it can take on different values. So a variable in programming, in very simple terms, is a container, and I am able to put stuff into this container. So if you think of your Tupperware, ladies, Ms. Jagannath, you have Tupperware, and you're going to store something inside that Tupperware. Similarly, a variable, inside this variable, you're going to store something. Like if I had the Google test mark or the Moodle test mark, I'm going to put in whether you had 80%, 82%, 90%, 50%, or 0% in there. Tomorrow I'm going to do this. I'm going to actually show you how I am going to import a file into ACL. And that makes life so easy. I hope you didn't think that I went and typed in all of this, because I can't do that, right? It's read only at this point in time, and I'm only able to access what I received as a Excel file. So tomorrow I'm going to show you how to do that. That's a forthcoming attraction. I hope you join me, and maybe I'll include some more marks out here. By the way, these are your marks, huh? Just to let you know. These are your marks. So I'm going to take your Excel document. I'm going to go to ITSS, and I'm going to access your student records. I'm going to download that as an Excel file. I'm going to clean up the data. When I say clean up the data, I'm going to remove the headings, and I'm going to remove the subject name, and I'm going to remove your diploma, because I know all of you are or postgrad diploma or qualification, and I don't need your cell phone numbers out here. I just need the marks. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean it up, and I'm going to import it into ACL. And the reason I'm going to do this is I need to provide some statistics to the program coordinator, Dr. Modley. He would like to know how many assessments did I do. So for right now I've done 4, but I only recorded 2. And he'd like to know how many passed, how many failed, how many need to write a makeup test, how many got a 0, how many students received a distinction, and so forth and so forth. So I can get it from ACL. Now that's what I would use as an academic. If this was a payroll system and I was in HR, I would want to know who received a salary, when, what was their gross salary, what was their net salary, and for the purposes of an auditor, I would like to know who is double dipping, who is receiving 2 salaries, right? So that's what ACL can perform for us. It can perform an audit on the data, and that was really cool about it, right? It can perform an audit on the data, and I would be able to state employee number 234567 received a salary from department XYZ and department DEF, because somebody in payroll included him as a member of department XYZ and department DEF. Right? So that's going to happen out there under importing a file. Data, we'll come to that. We can. Oh, I like this one about sorting data. It makes life very easy. I can analyze data. I just showed you right now the statistics that I have. I can do a total count. You've seen that in statistics. And I'm trying this one here, histogram. Histogram on. Oh, I got to play it on. What's the minimum value? Let's say 0. The maximum value is 100. Ah, there's a histogram. Oh, this is cool. I've got a histogram of my marks. Well, I need to figure out what this is, right? Okay, let's go back to data. I can, when we come to this, hopefully Mandla will be giving us more details on what's fuzzy join, reporting the data, appending the data, and machine learning. This is pretty cool. Machine learning is where we tend to mimic our thinking as human beings, and we expect a machine to be able to do that. So for instance, if I provide, by the way, MATLAB does this as well, machine learning. If I have 10 pictures of a person's face, and I'm teaching the computer to recognize a face will have 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, a forehead, eyebrows, and the machine sees 10 pictures like this. So on the 11th picture, if you show the machine, when I say show the machine, I'm talking of it as if it has a human being. It should be able to recognize a face, facial recognition. I don't know if you like watching all these scientific movies and where they identify so quickly a person's face or a name based on facial recognition. China uses this quite a bit, right? Facial recognition. Let's go to sampling. I can talk about this aspect of sampling. Tools, we'll go to that. I'd like you to go to the help facility. So in ACL, I'd like you to go to help, and I'd go to analytics help, and it's opening up a website. while it's doing that, let's go to the training site, right? I've started this training, by the way. I've started the training, and that's what I spent my weekend on. Right? I just want to show you my report quickly. This is what I did. I've achieved 240 points in ACL training, and I've received. Have I received a badge? Yes, I've received a badge. I did not know how I did that. Well, so, and what level am I on? I should be on level 1. Yeah, I'm still on level 1. Right, so I went and did the course. I started it. I'd like you to start that ASAP. So by Thursday, you should have acquired at least 100 points. And believe it or not, it's so easy to accumulate points. I think every time you log in, you access a point, right? So you don't have to worry about that, right? Lecture. Right, sorry about that. I just had to quickly run to give my phone to my wife. My head of department was calling me. Right, so I'd expect you to go and access the training, and like I said, by the end of the week, I want at least 100 points, 100, 200 points, right? So that's one. Analyst data and monitoring. You need to go through that. Right, let's go to this one. I found this is pretty cool. I want to search for careers, C-A-R, oh, there's a career out there, and data analyst and a monitor in ACL. Thank you. Right. So, hey, there's a job out there, analyst data monitoring in South Carolina. Oh my, that's in America, right? So this is an American software, yeah? Yeah. So maybe you can look for that. I like that. Then the next thing I want to start off is I want to set out progress reports. And I'm going to do this for you guys to find out how you are progressing through this course. So we've got basically 4 weeks for the semester. I'd expect that in the next 2 weeks or so, this week and next week, you should cover the basics of ACL. And I really, really would like it if at least 2-3 of you are able to register for the exams. So when you come out of this post-grad diploma in auditing and taxation or accounting, you now have not just a diploma, but you have certificates that you can include in your CV. You have certificates that you can include to enhance your prospects of getting a job. Okay, so I'm going to terminate my lecture at this point. I'd like it if you could ask me 1 or 2 questions. I think there are some students that requested an appointment with me, a consultation regarding the assessments. And what I will do is I'll stop the recording and we can have a little discussion. But for homework, I'd like you to install ACL on your computer. Ms. Jagannath, please do that. It's about 1 gig of data, but it's well worth it. You're getting the software, you're getting the training, it's licensed software. I tried so hard for you to get SAP and ERP on your machine. Unfortunately, that would have taken up much more data and much more space on your hard drive. Let's prepare for Mr. Mandla's lecture for next week and his training, and I'm going to assist you in getting the certification as well. Okay, and hopefully this would be sufficient for you to get a good mark in IT5 in your post-grad diploma. Do I have any questions? I'll stop there. Any questions? Any questions? Yes, please speak. Hey, Mr. Nkosi, you're on hold. Do I have any questions? Any questions? I put my video on. Ta-da! Anybody else wants to like to put their video on? Mr. Hadebe, Mr. Kumalo, Mr. Mbele, because we're going to do our goodbyes just now. Before we do that, anybody with a question? Hey, Mr. Nkosi, so nice to see you. Thank you. Wow, that's cool. Mr. Nkosi, do you think you're going to learn about Audit Command Language?
Yes, yes. I'll just pair it up with my experiences.
Oh, okay, great. You mean when you're talking about experiences, your experiences as an auditor, or a tax consultant, or an accountant?
Tax consultant and an accountant also.
Oh, great. Lucky you didn't tell me any other experiences that you have. Huh? Just remember, all your experiences are related to auditing, tax, and accounting, okay?
Yeah.
Ah, was that a good joke or what?
Sure, you're funny, man.
Yeah, I'm funny. Oh, thank you. But I shouldn't change my day job, Mr. Nkosi. Okay, I should stick with lecturing. Okay.
That's good.
So, right. So, do you think you'd want to write the exam in ACL, Mr. Nkosi?
I'll attempt it.
Okay. I'd like that.
I'll attempt
Before
it,
you
yeah.
even attempt that exam, there are free courses leading up to the exam, Mr. Nkosi. So you can probably, move towards that, right? But I would so love it if somebody, one of you, any of you, two of you, three of you, go and get a qualification that says that apart from the postgrad diploma, you also have a certification like ACL, right? Audit Command Language, right? Okay, thank you, Mr. Nkosi. Oh, I forgot to stop the recording because let me stop the recording and then we'll do our goodbye. Oh, let's do our goodbyes. All right, let's do our goodbyes. Goodbye. But those students who want me to talk to them about the assessments and their, you want a little consultation, please stay behind, right? So goodbye. And I'm going to stop the recording. Yay.